What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Welcome back to the conclusion of Let's Gang Up on Denise, aka the Beverly Housewives, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, excuse me, season 10 reunion part 3. So it's really just not a lot. Usually they save like the most explosive stuff to the last part of the reunion, but child, it wasn't nothing in here but another hour of them beating up on Denise, child. And they beat up on Garcelle a little bit. It was clearly some pre-gaming. It was clearly pre-gaming going on. And it was clearly sides chosen. And poor Sutton was somewhere in the middle. Even Erica, when they got to the part about going to the show, I'm going to be all over the place again, y'all. Even to the part where they got with Erica going to the show, going to Erica's show, Garcelle didn't go. And they were trying to make a big deal about why Garcelle didn't go. And Garcelle was like, well, I've talked to Erica. I reached out to Erica. I would text Erica, good luck, congratulations, how's it going, how are rehearsals, how you doing? And Erica didn't say nothing. Mind you, Erica and Garcelle didn't have no beef the whole season, from what I remember. Erica didn't say nothing. She didn't defend. She didn't say, yeah, well, she did. Yeah, Garcelle, you did. You reached out to me. Yeah, Garcelle, I really appreciate that. Yeah, you did, Garcelle. Oh, yeah, I know. I know you couldn't make it, but thank you so much, Garcelle. None of that. But when they were talking about Garcelle and Lisa and how Garcelle kind of said something to Lisa about making the whole Chicago thing about her and how she kept bringing up when she was in Chicago, Erica was like, well, I will say it just really helped me a lot that there was someone who had been in the show before who could, I never felt like Lisa was trying to steal my thunder. And I was just like, so, but she didn't even say, yeah, Garcelle, you did reach out to me and I appreciate it. Like, none of that. And I'm like, Erica, you really disappointed me in this reunion. You really, really did. I like Erica. Y'all know I love me some Erica Jane. But on this reunion, Erica, I'm really disappointed in you because you've always been very independent. If you whether you were cool with that person or not, you always was a straight shooter. And on here, in this situation with Denise, you are not. You have clearly chosen a side that you are on the side of you don't believe Denise, and it doesn't matter what Denise does or says. And the people who are defending Denise or on Denise's side have become persona non grata as well. And I just think it's really fucked up. If you want to play a great drinking game, when you watch this reunion, take a shot every time Kyle says open and honest. Because that's all Kyle kept saying was, well, I mean, if everybody would just be open and honest, well, if we could just be open and honest, well, I really just need Denise to be open and honest. I think we all just want Denise to be open and honest. I just think we want... And, Andy brought up at one point in the reunion, Andy said, what if, let's just assume for a minute, what if Denise is really telling the truth? Why have y'all chosen not to believe her? And not one person answered the question. Not one person said, this is why we don't believe Denise. Not one person. I've said from the beginning of this, Denise doesn't do herself any favors because Denise doesn't know how to fight. Shouts out to my loyal subscriber, Lil Baby. She said in one of our lives, she said Denise doesn't fight with her words. Denise, she came from the school of Charlie Sheen, and she knows how to fight in the press, and she knows how to fight with lawyers. She doesn't fight with her words. She's not good at it. And it's clear that she's not good at it because there were times when I think Denise was getting tongue-tied. I think Denise was misspeaking. And of course, they jumped on it. Everything she said, they jumped on it. And I don't think at times I don't think Denise was necessarily lying. I just think she was just, they took everything she said literally, and I don't think everything she said was meant to be a literal statement. For example, when she was saying that Aaron, how he felt about the footage or whatever, and Aaron was like, I don't know why when they brought up because they brought up the whole thing about him squeezing her arm. And of course, Denise was like, I don't remember saying it. And when Aaron played it back, she said, Aaron was like, I don't remember saying that. I mean, if anything, I'm scared of you. And Bravo Andy was like, well, what do you mean he's scared of you? Why would he be scared of you, Denise? Denise was like, it was a joke. Like, I just don't think she knows how to say stuff that people receive it the way she meant for it to be said. That wasn't the best example. There was another. I'm trying to think of another good example. The whole Brandy thing. I think they're just holding her to this tight timeline, and what she's trying to just convey to them is that her and Brandy are not as close as Brandy tried to pretend like they were. And they keep harping on every little thing she says, and it's just, at this point, it was just painful to watch. Like, it really was painful to watch this last episode, because they really were just, Lisa Rinna was horrible. Lisa Rinna was horrible. Horrible. I don't know what kind of a friend she's been to her in the past, but horrible. Absolutely horrible. Okay, so let me just go down my notes, cause I don't even know, child. This thing was all over the place. All right, Lisa Rinna and I wrote Lisa text message. Just be honest. So they brought up this whole text message thing again. Lisa Rinna then printed out the damn text messages from Brandy's phone. And you know what was really funny to me? When Denise tried to throw it back on Lisa and say, "Well, Lisa, sure," because Andy was like, "Well, since Lisa has the text messages, can we look at your phone and we compare the text messages? Because you said that you think that Brandy's text messages are a little bit doctored." I love what Denise said. Denise said, "Sure." She said, "I'll show my text messages if Lisa Rinna will let me show her text messages." And you know what Lisa Rinna said? She said, "Well, no, because those were private." Well, her text messages with Brandy are private. This whole situation is private. Who cares who Denise is sleeping with? If your issue was whether Denise was telling the truth about talking shit about y'all, then keep it there. But the rest of this is not y'all's business. And I don't blame Denise for not wanting to, whether it's true or not, air out her dirty laundry for all of y'all to hear and see. I just don't understand what y'all don't understand about that. And yes, I get it. You're doing a TV show. Yes, I get it. Everything is for production. But you know what would be better? Like, the whole keeping it to the girls on the show, the women on the show, excuse me, and what Denise said or didn't say, and make a big deal about that. Like, I would much rather be here for that. Make a big deal about whether Denise said the shit or not. Even the thing they were saying at the beginning with Teddy, and they were like, "Well, you've said worse things about Teddy. What did you say about Teddy?" And Denise was like, "What I said to her face?" And they were making it seem like that wasn't good enough. And I'm thinking, maybe in Denise's mind, what she said was worse than what Brandy said she said. Because all Brandy said she said was that she's standing in she's living in her father's shadow or something like that. But what Denise actually said to Teddy's face was, "I think you are a shit stirrer and I think you're a manipulative bitch." I think that's worse. So why y'all trying to make it seem like, ugh, I'm so fucking frustrated with these women. Okay, so then I said that part. If Andy said if she's being honest, Garcelle is still defending Denise, and what Garcelle said was, because Lisa was like, "Just be honest, just be honest, just be honest," and what Garcelle was saying was, how can she be if every time you guys are around her, y'all are attacking her? Every time y'all are attacking this woman. I feel the same way. Because why would she keep showing up? Why would she keep showing up to events where every time she shows up to an event, either A, y'all are going to be attacking her, or B, she knew y'all were trying to because what y'all were trying to do was put her in the same room with Brandy. Because if you notice, those last two events, who was at both of those last two events? Brandy. Brandy was at the baby shower that Denise didn't show up for, and Brandy was at Dorit's Christmas party that Dorit swore Brandy wasn't coming to. So, is Denise really crazy? She didn't want to be in a room with Brandy. She didn't want a confrontation between her and Brandy. She didn't want to be around Brandy. Was she really crazy for not showing up for those two events? Now, she got to do a better job of learning how to lie. Just say you sick. Don't come up. See, the best lies are the simplest lies. I'm sick. There's so many different ways that can be interpreted. I'm sick. If they press you later, girl, I had the worst headache. I just could not kick it. Keep it broad. Keep it broad. Don't come up with no elaborate, oh, I had a fever of 110 and Aaron had to wheel me to the hospital and I slept in an ice bag. Like, don't come up with nothing elaborate. Don't do all that. I'm sick. Erica's Broadway show. They tried to make a big deal about Garcelle and Eric and Denise not coming, and they asked them why they didn't come, and Denise was like, "Well, I didn't come because I wasn't invited." Real simple. Denise wasn't on the list for Sutton's plane because Sutton, remember, she chartered her plane. Denise wasn't on the list. And Denise said, I didn't find out about it till the night before. So, yeah, that's why I didn't come. And Andy was like, well, isn't that when you were suing us? And she was like, I wasn't suing y'all. I put a cease and desist to try to get Brand. And again, I don't think she knows how to explain herself because she was like, a cease and desist so Brandy would tell the truth. No, you can't make nobody tell the truth, Denise. You did the cease and desist so she would shut the fuck up. Then you sent a letter to Bravo asking them to cut that footage out because, one, you're maintaining that it's a lie. It's a vicious lie. And two, she's not even on the show. So why are we featuring lies that she's telling? So no, she wasn't suing y'all. But then they turn around and say, hey, well, we went to go see Erica's show well after filming. This didn't have anything to do with the show. This was an opportunity to show just how genuine we really were, how much we really just, our sisterhood is. Then why the fuck does it matter whether she was suing Bravo or not? If this wasn't a Bravo trip. See, y'all playing in my face now. Anyway, now Garcelle, I've been real nice with you. I've been real light on you, Garcelle. But this whole why you didn't go to New York again, y'all. The simplest lie is the best lie. Is the simplest lie. All you had to say was you had to work. You had to work, and your husband wouldn't switch weekends for you because he had already arranged his schedule so much for you to film the show. That's all you had to say. You came up with this whole thing about how you don't like getting on little planes. And I knew as soon as she said that shit, Sutton was going to be in her feelings because how dare you call her private jet a little plane? And I'm going to say the same thing. That didn't look like no golf. That didn't look like no island hopper to me. And I understand not wanting to get on small planes, but that wasn't no small plane. Like, did you really think y'all was going to be on an island hopper from LA to New York? Like, what the fuck did you think y'all was getting on, Garcelle? And Garcelle, you're not going to sit here and tell me that in all your years in the business, you started off as a model and then you moved into movies and da-da-da-da. Your husband got money or your ex-husband got money. Y'all ain't never flown on a private plane? Girl. Garcelle, I've been trying to help you out, but on that one, I can't work with you. All you had to say was you had to work. All you had to say was you had to work. Then we did this whole segment on Lisa and Denise and their friendship and how they got where they are. And, you know, once again, Lisa, you are a terrible person. You are a horrible, horrible woman. The way you have treated Denise, the things you have said to Denise. She said that her regret is even asking for Denise to be on the show, that she wish she could do that again and redo that, and Denise not even be on the show. Then Denise brings up this Heather Locklear thing, which first of all has nothing to do with going. She's like, well, if you want to know what kind of a friend Denise is, I mean, Heather Locklear, Denise was like, hold up. First of all, that don't have nothing to do with what we're talking about here. Second of all, I was never friends with Heather Locklear. My ex-husband was friends with her. And for you to bring that up, that is really vile. So whatever it is, it must be some shit. So of course, y'all know Andy nosy ass was like, well, I would have too. He was like, well, what about Heather Locklear? And and Lisa must have realized that maybe she went a step too far. And she wouldn't say nothing. And she started talking about something else. And y'all know Andy. He was like, okay, that's all cute. But what about Heather Locklear? And then she gonna tell everybody, just Google it. If you want to know what I'm talking about, just Google it. And Denise was like, you know what, Lisa? That was low. That was really low. That has nothing to do with this. And I'm thinking, so now I'm gonna have to Google Heather Locklear and Denise Richards. I'm sure it's gonna be trending by now, child. Then they had the whole segment on Denise and her husband. Now listen on this one. I don't know, Denise. I heard that man say he would crush your hand. And you do seem to be scared as hell that this man got a wind of this whole situation with you and Denise, whether it's true or not, honey. You did seem to be very, very afraid that he would find out. Like you will. I don't know, Denise. I don't know. Now, I'm not, that's a very serious thing, so I'm not going to throw that out there. I'm not going to willy-nilly throw that out there. But all I am going to say is, I don't know, Denise. I don't know. Dorit wants everybody to make up and be friends again. Rumor is Denise done left the show, and I don't blame her. I'd have left the damn show, too. You think I would still be on this shit? That's all I got. It's a wrap.